You have to be willing to be called crazy, right? When you just trust the process, when you trust that God is going to work all things out for your good. You have to be a crazy person just to believe in those things that you can't physically see, okay? You have to be a crazy person to believe in those things that you cannot see, but you know it's going to happen, right? When you have faith that is now, right? Like Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith. You don't see any evidence of that thing, but you know it's going to happen, right? Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You have to be a crazy person to really see something before it happens. Faith is believing and knowing that it will happen without you seeing it. Okay? Which means you have to know that spiritually it's done before it's done naturally. And you got to be a strong person. You got to be a person without, wavering in your faith. And you have to be around people who have the same faith like you, like faith. I don't like being around people who don't have like faith. They're religious, but they don't have like faith, right? They talk about God, but they don't really believe in, in their faith is not on the level where it should be. Let me say that. Their faith is not faithing. Like they say, the math is not mathing. Their faith is not faithing, because they would curse themselves and speak faith in the same sentence. I don't operate like that. I believe what I believe regardless. And I've learned to not share what I believe with people who don't have that same faith, because they'll always try to say, oh, you got to be realistic. That's why faith is so important. Faith is not realistic. Faith is not, faith is not how people perceive it to be. Faith is faith, okay? Faith is faith. Faith is not normal. Faith is not realistic. Faith is not science. Like, you got to know without a shadow of a doubt. Like, you have to know that it's going to work out. And see, I don't like being around people who don't have big faith. I have big faith. I have what they call crazy faith, right? Regardless of what people say and how they try to normalize and spiritualize and, say what's realistic. That's the point of faith. That's why you need faith. Faith is not realistic. I've experienced things that I was believing for, and I know, like the word says, God will give you according to your faith. Your faith, not no one else's faith. And I don't even want to talk to people who don't believe what I believe as far as believing for. Okay? If their faith is not elevated, I don't deal with people like that, because I know my faith sound crazy. People try to say, well, you got to be realistic. And I know what you mean, but no, and there's no buts in faith. I know what you mean when you're believing for something. This thing is spiritual. There is no but. There is no clause. Faith is faith. And that's what I believe in. I don't care what I'm looking at. I will not come into agreement with anything that I don't want to happen in my life. I will stop talking to people. I will cut folks off cold turkey if their mindset is not, and I won't even share my ideas and things with people who faith is not where my faith is. This is not to say I'm better. This is not to say I'm more spiritual. This is just to say I'm believing for something you can't even comprehend, and you can't even believe it. I'm believing for this, not you. Right? Not you. This is what I'm believing in. And I believe. When I tell you I believe, hands down, I believe. And I will continue to believe. because I've seen results. I know what to be true. I've seen results. So keep your faith up. Don't let people make you doubt what you're believing for. I don't care if it's for health, wealth, even if you're believing and you just don't see no inkling of any result. That thing, something is going to happen in you more so than what you're believing for. So keep the faith, keep believing, right? Trust and believe that what you're believing for will happen. You got to tap into the spiritual realm. You got to be so rooted and grounded in what you're believing for that it will happen. You all be blessed.